That's not a comic book. Now that's a comic book.
Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Trade Talk. This week I'm very excited because we'll be talking about Green Lantern Earth 1 Volume 1. And I'll say right off the bat, I cannot wait for Volume 2. I really like Green Lantern, but I've not been keeping up with the mainline continuity in comics. Just really lost interest for a while after Blackest Night, and then not Blackest Night, after Jeff Johns left, and I just have never caught back up. I started to with Godhead, but then fell off, so I was really waiting for some more standalone Green Lantern stuff, and when this got announced, I got really excited because I've been fan theorizing for who could be a really good pick for a Green Lantern Earth 1 title. There's, of course, been rumors circulating that we're not getting any more Earth 1 books, but then they kind of announced, Wonder Woman Earth 1 Volume 2 and stuff. So I was really excited for this. Just the concept of a standalone Green Lantern story, I was really hyped for. I didn't care if it was just going to be another origin, which this is, but not in the typical way that you think of a Green Lantern origin, and I really like it. I will say this further breaks the idea that Earth 1 is a cohesive universe. Let me grab something real quick here. Oh, knock that over. Come on with me. There we go. So I've not read Multiversity yet. It's on my list of episodes for Trade Talk. But they go through and they break down the different multiverses in like what every Earth is, and oh, maybe not. Where am I at? Where's it at? I know it's in here somewhere. But they go through and give you a lineup of every Earth. Well, did I just pass it? I felt like I just passed it there. That was Hitler on the toilet. Man, I really need to read this now. It had Hitler on the toilet. I'm like super excited. But anyway, they go through in Multiversity and break down who or which Earth everyone belongs to. God, okay, just check it off because you're a problem. And they show Earth 1 on that list, and they show at the time it was Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman because they were the Earth 1 characters. Now, we also had Teen Titans Earth 1, but Teen Titans Earth 1, the author has confirmed that no other superheroes exist in that universe, and that continuity for him. And this just, if it does exist with other superheroes in continuity, then it doesn't make any sense it doesn't matter because this seems to be set in kind of like a not far future, but far enough future that it's hard to tell what's going on. And I can't. Oh, there we go. There it is. The breakdown of all the different Earths took a minute. It's in the middle of the book for reasons. Yeah. So there's Multiversity. It shows you Earth 1 with the Earth 1 Batman design, Wonder Woman design, Superman design. And so Green Lantern Earth 1 is apparently in the same universe, but it's set relatively far in the future. The comparison I would draw, the one that it feels the most like is Alien, with the privatized space fleets and all that stuff. It really felt like it was right out of Alien. So in this is an origin for Hal Jordan, but in it he is working for Ferris Galactic, who does asteroid mining just within the Earth's solar system, and all the space exploration is only interested in the inner solar system at furthest. Their thoughts of going to the outer solar system to mine for resources in the Kuiper Belt. But they're really interested in just basically exploring the asteroid belt and surrounding areas, looking for precious metals from which to mine. And Hal's working for them when he comes across a spaceship and Abin Sur's dead body and a Green Lantern ring. and a decommissioned manhunter. And so he gets the ring and the battery onto his shuttlecraft and heads back to the main exploration craft. But the ring activates when he's on the craft and it destroys it. But luckily he's in space and is able to grab onto it at the last second and is suddenly able to breathe in space, and he doesn't understand it. And that's when the green energy reactivates the manhunter shell and it attacks him, and Hal has to get into a fight with this manhunter in order to protect his crew members. So he's fighting with the manhunter, and it takes all he has, but he destroys it, and he's just about to fall into unconsciousness when the ring sends out a signal with the last bit of energy it has left, and he wakes up under the care of Kilowog. And Kilowog asks him to train him as a Green Lantern, because it would take a great Green Lantern to have defeated a Manhunter. But what Kilowog doesn't understand is that Hal just got the ring. And so Kilowog's able to explain to Hal that there's an army of Manhunters that basically rules the galaxy. The galaxy is under control of the Manhunter army. Manhunter Empire, I guess you'd call it. That no one really knows what happened to the Green Lanterns or the Guardians, except that they were wiped out by the Manhunters, and that the rings don't have a long-term charge, only just what their batteries can give them. So they run out of energy really quickly. They're kind of operating on about 20 to 30% max. But the use of the ring, as Hal learns to use it with Kilowog, attracts the Manhunters, and so he and Kilowog kind of run away from Kilowog's home planet and decide to go look for other Green Lanterns to try to help form an army with and take the Manhunters on again. And so it seems like it's a long time that they're out exploring space looking for, allies, and they're not getting any. They're learning more about the Green Lantern Corps and why it became extinct, and that the Guardians built the Manhunters not only to replace the Green Lanterns, but to wipe them out because they didn't like them having so much autonomy. Which is, if you haven't watched my video about Star Trek and Green Lantern on morality, you really should, because the autonomy of the Green Lantern Corps is so important to that universe. Anyway, Hal ends up running out of energy for his ring right as he is captured by Manhunters and brought to the remnants of Oa to be a slave. But luckily, the ring starts to get a little bit of energy again because it gets near this large dome that the Manhunters have constructed. And so Hal devises an escape and gets to the dome, where he's able to use a little blast of energy to get inside and see that the central power battery could not be destroyed because it is an endless supply of energy. But its ability to transmit that energy has been contained within the dome. So he's able to send out a signal to all the Green Lanterns and get them to come and help him destroy the dome and take the action back against the Manhunters. So all the Green Lanterns unite and come together and fight the Manhunters. And it's really, really cool, epic space battle. It's cool to see the people we know from the mainline continuity in all these different roles. Like, Alicia's a fucking badass, and I love it. And they're able to split the dome open and get their energy source back, which is really cool. We even get a cameo from Sinestro. And there's like a plan that the last Guardian gave to Hal, that they're supposed to send an energy wave back on the battery, and that will basically blow up the whole planet and destroy the Manhunters and the battery and everything all at once. But Hal doesn't want to do that because there are slaves on the planet. He doesn't want to risk lives. But he explains this plan, and Sinestro's there, and he's like, "Yes, if this is possible, we must. Thing is, it'll also kill thousands of innocent slaves down in the mines. A small price in the face of our homes, our families, freedom from the manhunters and their death dealing." Yeah, that's Sinestro for you. Very pragmatic. So, like, even though Sinestro's not a big part of this book, it's a really good characterization of Sinestro. I'm really, really happy with that. Anyway, they're able to devise another plan to send just a shortwave out to destroy all the manhunters, but not the planet, not the slaves, all that stuff, and save the day. Though in the fighting, of course, some Green Lanterns fall, and they still have to evacuate Oa, but now the battery cannot be contained because they know where it is and they know how to break its defenses. So they still have to evacuate Oa, and they have to plan to make a proper core. And so Hal and Kilowog are planning to restart the core themselves, and they put Arisia in charge because she's the Lantern with the most experience and know-how, which is really cool because she's the only one we see make a proper construct, which I thought was really cool. Hal makes a block, kind of like a hammer shape at one point, but Arisia's the only one that makes a really proper construct. I think Kilowog does a couple small things, and a couple of them get like holograms and stuff, but she's the only one that makes like a proper weaponized construct, which we see right there, which is cool. Anyway, so Hal goes back to Earth, and he's got his own problems to deal with there, as it looks like Earth has fallen under the rule of kind of an authoritarian regime. And so he's gonna have to work on that on Earth as well. Saying now we have the tools to help. So I really like this. I think this is a really, really cool twist on the origin for Green Lantern as its own standalone story. Again, this is kind of in line with the with some of the stuff that the Superman Earth 1 book did, where I'm like, okay, the purpose of the Earth 1 line was to give readers a story that they could go to get into and excited about the character, but that wasn't bogged down by continuity. And so while I like this as this cool, like, semi-futuristic take on Green Lantern, I'm like, it's not really like anything that we've done with Green Lantern before. So you can read this and you can like Green Lantern for the cool tech and the space feel and all that stuff, but this isn't the typical characterization of the Guardians or Hal's origin or any of that. So I don't know if it's really serving the purpose of Earth 1, but just as a standalone, like, alternate continuity Green Lantern story, I think it's really cool, really fun take. I really, really like the art in here. Let's see here. It's Gabriel Hardman did the art and was the co-writer with fucking names. I'm so bad at them. Corinna Bechko? 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 Maybe? I don't know. So, like, he did the art, and it is really, really beautiful stuff. It's a lot more sketchy than some of the other Earth 1 books. Like, Yannick Paquette, for the Wonder Woman Earth 1, did a really, really, like, stunning, beautiful work that's almost like a painting. The guys doing Superman and Batman Earth 1 did this hyper-realistic look. This has some very realistic, highly rendered imagery, but it's also just a lot more rough and gritty in a way that I think really helps serve the story, as this feels like a really downtrodden, down-and-out kind of universe where the bad guys have won. This is a very Star Wars kind of thing where the Empire's in control, and it's going to take this ragtag group of rebels to save the day. Because while they defeat the Manhunters by the end of this on Oa, they don't defeat them and their rule across the universe. That's what the Green Lanterns have to go do, is try to save the universe from without now, because they have to go to their own planets and try to expand the core from there. So that was really cool. But, like, we get these really, really beautifully, highly rendered images during moments of triumph, and then these very, sketchy, kind of dark images in moments of fear that I I really like too, and I think it really fits the tone on like Bolivacs. I think that's really cool. And then when we get to the slave camp, where the manhunters are keeping people from mining, it looks really, really just dark and creepy, and it's got this really rough look to it that I really, really like. So there's a lot of versatility in the art here. I'm really, really happy with this. I still really, really love Wonder Woman Earth 1, and I think that's probably a slightly superior book just because it's a little more, accessible, besides the not being made of clay thing that is pretty in step with Wonder Woman's typical origin, but it still manages to make it really interesting and do a lot that's very core to the character. But I don't know, I might have to reread that and reread this a couple times and decide which one I like more, because they're really close right now for me, and they're easily in the top two of the Earth 1 books, which for the most part, I thought have just been okay. But this is a really, really good story, and I really quite liked it. I had a lot of fun with it, and I definitely recommend picking it up. There's not a ton of Green Lantern stuff that stands on its own really well, and that's unfortunate, because I think you could use that. Well, let me rephrase it. There's not a lot of modern Green Lantern stuff from like the last 10 to 15 years that stands on its own really well. A lot of it's been wrapped up in Jeff Johns' run and continuing things and getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And this isn't that. This just gets to kind of do its own thing, and that makes it really exciting. Also, I mean, it's so cool to see the Manhunters be really fucking intimidating as the main villain. I was, it's weird. I think the Green Lantern movie's just okay. But like it opens with that whole thing about, Hal being willing to risk his life, whereas the jets that were piloted by an AI had like a ceiling and couldn't operate at certain standards or whatever. And that scene kind of becomes like it still ultimately serves Hal's character throughout the entire movie, what little one he has. But like the metaphor, connection to Parallax, all that stuff doesn't really make a lot of sense. I really think that scene was from an earlier draft of the film where like the Manhunters were the villains or something, because it would make so much more sense in that regard. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. It's just cool to see a standalone Green Lantern story again. It was cool to see the Manhunters as a truly threatening and imposing villain, as they are the Empire kind of thing, even though this doesn't really focus on them as an independent character. They're just kind of the looming threat, and it's mainly about Hal's journey, which is really interesting. Hal's got an interesting history here too. Interesting. I'm such a versatile reviewer. Hal's got a unique and compelling yet mysterious origin here, because he says the reason that he's in space as a prospector basically is because he is done with Earth and its people, and he was former NASA and didn't confront something when he had the chance to until it was too late, and then like we just get this image of a nuclear explosion, mushroom cloud. So I'm really, really curious what exactly his past is. And yeah, there's a lot that this does to stand on its own, but it sets up a lot for a volume 2. So I am there. Let me buy my copy tomorrow, man. Also, I was really happy that Green Lantern Earth 1 Volume 1 actually came out when it was announced. Volume 1, or all the other Earth 1 books have been horrifically delayed. This is the first time that the books come out when it's supposed to. As far as my memory serves, I can't quite say with the Teen Titans. A lot of people will say Teen Titans Earth 1. They're like, that's a thing? So this is like the first time I feel like the books actually come out when it's supposed to, and that's really refreshing. I'm curious in the comments, because I've been mulling this over in my head. Who do you want writing Earth 1 books? Who are some writers you want on different characters? because I thought it was really interesting. I'd not heard of Gabriel Hardman or Corinna Bechko before this, and I know DC's mostly been using some pretty big names for the writers on these Earth One books. So yeah, give me a writer artist duo with a character for Earth One you'd want. Because I'm intensely interested to see if you want more of the big name writers or if you want to see more, lesser known writers and artists take over. Because I've never really heard of these guys or these two before. They're a husband wife duo. Let's see here. She's done Heathen Town. Star Wars Legacy, She-Hulk, Angel, Once Upon a Time, and Court of the Dead, The Chronicle of the Underworld. And Gabriel Hardman's done art on a lot of that stuff too, and done some Planet of the Apes, Savage Hulk, and Sensation Comics featuring Wonder Woman. So I've read that, but I don't remember what he did the art for. He does a lot of writing artists too, but yeah, they're a husband-wife team, which is really cool. They got a good dynamic here. Yeah, I'd just be curious. Who are some characters and writers you'd like to see hook up for some more Earth One books? I'm dying to get Tom King on one of these Earth One books because I would love to see him do just a self-contained short story that's graphic novel length kind of thing. That'd be a lot of fun. But anyway, I think that will do it for this episode of Comic Reviews. If you've been curious about Green Lantern but want something that's less intimidating to approach, I think this is a good one. If you're a fan of the Alien franchise, I think this is a good one because you'll really like the atmosphere that it has, particularly in the beginning. It's very reminiscent of Alien and that whole universe. I think you'll get a kick out of it. And yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting thing, and the Earth One line has been going for 8 years now, ish. Yeah, 8-ish years now, and we've got 3 Superman books, 2 Batman books, 2 Teen Titan books, Wonder Woman, and Green Lantern. 9 books, 8 years. Good job. So as long as we keep to limp this book line around, I'll stick with it. I'm definitely intrigued and up for the ride. All right, everyone. Thanks very much for watching this episode of Trade Talk. I'll catch you next time. Bye.
That's not a comic book. Now that's a comic book.